Om Kling Bande Dayanidhi Sri Charanarvindam. Dear scholars, now I am going to discuss about Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the mystery of Gita, which is narrated by me. Here I am going to discuss the previous talk of Gita. From the previous talk, we can know that Gita is not a specific book or it is not an individual book. It is the collection of knowledge speech of Sri Krishna from Kurukshetra. Now let us come to know the previous history of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Previous speech. Vyasadeva, the son of sage Parasara, was the first to write the Mahabharata. With one last Sanskrit slokas, the first text is divided into 18 parts in total, and each part is divided into multiple chapters. Every part of that text is called as Parva or festival. Among the various Parvas, the Mahasangrama of Mahabharata was held between the Kauravas and the Pandavas in Kurukshetra, the land of Dharma, on the occasion of Bhishma Parva. On the battlefield, Lord Krishna gave some important religious sermons to appoint his beloved friend Arjuna in battlefield. Its name is Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Considering the previous history of the Kuru dynasty, it is known that King Shantanu had two queens. The first queen was Ganga, the goddess of heaven, from whose womb the great, powerful and inviolable promissory Bhishma was born. After the return of Ganga, he accepted Satyavati, the daughter of the king Dasa, as his second wife in order to protect the clan. Shantanu passed away after Satyavati's womb gave birth to two sons, Chitrangada and Vichitravirja. As a result, Bhishma took the personality of marrying those two sons. After they got married, they passed away before any child was born to them. As a result, Mother Satyavati became worried about saving the royal throne and asked Bhishma to marry and save the dynasty. But Bhishma denied to marry due to his promise. However, Satyavati thought of a second way as she did not agree with the words of the inviolable promissory Bhishma. Earlier, she gave birth to a son from sage Parasara's Aurus semen while she was unmarried. Rishi brought him up by naming the son Vyasa. Later, he went to the forest and became aware of the mysteries of the universe through sadhana and wrote various texts. Mother Satyavati sent Bhishma and brought him to the royal court. From Vyasa's auras or semen, two widowed queens and a maid gave birth to three sons, Dhritarashtra, Pandu and Vidu, respectively. Bhishma considered that none of them were eligible for the royal throne as Dhritarashtra was blind, Pandu was very fearful son and Vidur was a slave's son. Finally, after many deliberations, the eldest son Dhritarashtra was given the reins of the kingdom. Vidur had no children. Yudhishthira, Bhima and Arjuna were born from the womb of Kunti. The first of Pandu's two wives, Nakula and Sahadev, were born from the womb of his second wife Matri. There are 100 sons, Duryodhana, Dusasana, Durmukha, etc. was born from the womb of Gandhari, the wife of Dhritarashtra. Since Yudhishthira is the eldest of them all and Duryodhana is the successor of King Dhritarashtra, various discussions were held with many eminent personalities like Patriarch Bhishma, Dronacharya, Kulaguru, Krupacharya, etc. as to which of them will assume the throne next. At the same time, Duryodhana's crookedness on the suggestion of Sakuni, the Pandavas added the fire while living in the house built by Ram. As a result, the Pandavas tactfully escaped from there and after a few days married the princess Draupadi. Drupada made marry the princess Draupadi and returned to Hastinapur, and after a few days Pandavas married the princess Draupadi and returned to Hastinapur. After coming, Dhritarashtra allowed them to stay in Indraprastha. Staying there, they organized a Rajasuya Yajna, royal sacrifice, on the advice of Narada and Sri Krishna with the aim of attaining the heaven of Father Pandu. Various kings of India were invited to that sacrifice. Looking many great wonders in the royal sacrifice of the Pandavas, Duryodhana's mind became jealous. He invited Yudhishthira to play game at dice on the crooked advice of Uncle Sakuni and lost the Pandavas to hypocrisy and took away all his belongings. Finally, it was concluded that along with Draupadi, the 5 brothers of Yudhishthira, etc. would live in the forest for 12 years and would live in unknown residence for 1 year. Thus, for 13 years, all the state borders on the state buttons will remain in the possession of Duryodhana. In the 13th year, if the difference of unknowns is not known, the kingdom of the Pandavas will be returned to Indraprastha. But if the difference is known, they will go back again to the forest for 12 years. According to this theory, after spending 13 years, the Pandavas returned from the forest and asked for their own kingdom. But Duryodhana refused straight away. Bhishma, Drona, etc., many prominent figures, old priests, and Sri Krishna himself also went and explained. But Duryodhana did not listen to anyone. He said that without a war, the peak of a needle would not give the most amount of the space. As a result, the Pandavas were forced to fight with him. After that, the war was organized on both sides. Duryodhana went to Dwarka to invite Lord Krishna. At the same time, Arjuna also went to Dwarka and appeared. The two brothers went and saw that Sri Krishna was sleeping in his room. Seeing him lying motionless, Duryodhana went and sat down on a precious gem chair near his head. Later Arjuna went there and folded his hands and stood slowly and namingly near his feet. As soon as Sri Krishna got up from sleep, he first saw the standing Arjuna in front of him and then returned back and saw Duryodhana sitting. Sri Krishna welcomed and cremated the two and asked them the reason for their arrival. Duryodhana says he has the same kind of affectionate in him, and Arjuna and both of them are very close relatives of him. But he came to there first. The law of the gentleman is that he will help the person who came first. Today, Sri Krishna is the best of all the decorations in the entire territorial globe. That's why he wants to help him first. The Lord Krishna said that Duryodhana must have come first, but he saw Arjuna first, but that he will help the two men. According to the scriptures, the desire of the boy is first fulfilled. Since Arjuna is younger than Duryodhana, Arjuna's wish should be fulfilled first. He will provide two kinds of help. One is he will have a very strong Narayani army, and on the other he will be alone with the desire not to fight on his own. He don't apply weapon. Now Arjuna's wish should be fulfilled in a religious law. He asks for whatever he likes of these two aids. Arjuna wanted enemy killer Narayana Sri Krishna to help him. Duryodhana then brought his Narayani army and happily brought it and returned to Hastina. Then the devotee, affectionate Lord Sri Krishna remained as a charioteer in his chariot as per the will of Arjuna, and at the beginning of the battle he recited the divine words of the Geeta in Kurukshetra, the land of Dharma, and devised him to fight. When the battle preparations were started on both sides, Lord Vedavyasa came Hastina and approached King Dhritarashtra and said that if he wanted to see the war, then Vyasa would give him a divine. But Dhritarashtra did not wish to see the destruction of his clan in his own eyes. He wished only to hear the war report. Maharishi Vedavyasa then gave divine vision to Minister Sanjaya and asked him to narrate the war story to Dhritarashtra. Sanjaya can see and hear all the events of the war with the power of vision and remote hearing. He will know all the things that are in front and behind, in the day or at night, in the hidden or in the state of revelation, in the way of action or coming to mind. There is no such a thing as to keep him hidden. No weapon can pierce his body, nor will he ever be cheated. Om Kling Bande Dwanidhi Sri Charanar Bindam. Subscribe my channel first, get supreme sweetheart. Subscribe Akhila Jyoti Fat, get supreme sweetheart. Subscribe Akhila Jyoti Fat, get supreme sweetheart. Om Kling Vande Dwanidhi Sri Charanarvindam. Jai Guru, Jai Guru.